Today I will tell you how you can catch people's lies in just 1 minute. This information is very important to you, so let's start the story without any delay. There lived a businessman named Mahesh in a village. His name was counted among the richest businessmen of the city, but now its place was left only in name. His business was moving towards closure. Due to losses in business, he owed a lot to people. His days were now passing like those of the poor, and his nature was becoming the reason for this. He was a person of calm nature and harmony. He was very quick to believe what others said, which made it very easy to fool him. There was no touch of cleverness in him, and people had taken advantage of his simple nature and brought him to this situation. Some shrewd friends, relatives, and other businessmen conspired against him and lured him into such a trap that his business was on the verge of collapse. Mahesh Seth was not able to understand the fraud of these cunning people, but now his heart was broken. He was now beginning to accept his mistakes. One day, the truth about those people is revealed to Mahesh Seth. He believes that the very people whom he considered his own were capable of betraying him. Due to this, Seth would always ponder over his situation and berate himself. Now his days were passing tense and sad. His wife often quarreled with him. Other Seths were now coming to his house every day asking for loan. A long crowd of Seths had put him in deep shock. Now he started hiding to avoid those traitors. Troubled by his condition, he decided to commit suicide and went towards a distant hill to commit suicide. On the way, he saw a saint hut in which there was peace and tranquility. Seth Mahesh saw that some people were sitting in front of that saint, and they were asking him for solutions to their problems. Seeing this, Seth became very curious. He stopped a person coming out of the hut and started asking him important questions. The man looked at Seth Mahesh and said, "That saint is famous in all the surrounding villages, towns, and cities. He is very intelligent and solves people's biggest problems in a few minutes. They are skilled in understanding people's lies because they have studied human nature deeply and are able to convince anyone to agree to their point of view, also known as Clever Baba." The man looked at Seth Mahesh and said, "If you also have any problem, you can ask him for the solution." Saying this, the person left from there. After this, he sat silently in the crowd of people and started waiting for his turn. It was already evening before the crowd ended. Now Seth's turn came. He bowed to the saint, and with a sad heart told about his entire incident. The saint was listening carefully to Seth's words and then replied in a calm voice, "A person should not be so noble that he believes what everyone says, and start doing whatever people say. Every person needs understanding and cleverness. This is not only so that he can create his own or take advantage of someone else, but so that he can advance himself, learn, and help others." The saint said that now the time has come to teach them how they can fulfill their desires. They will teach some methods that will help in controlling people and situations. Apart from this, they will also be taught how to recognize fraudulent people and beware of them. There is no need for you to pay any attention to them, because they try to fool you with their lies. These people say the same thing over and over again, so that you can believe their smooth talk. When you are talking to a person, you can understand them by listening to what they say. Then, by listening to their story, you will know whether it is true or not. If you know someone who lies to others, never trust him. Such a person will definitely lie to you too. Also, you should be wary of people who claim to have had a lot of money in the past, which is now gone, which shows that the person you are talking to is lying. Yes, it may happen that once he had money, but now he is bankrupt. Wisdom lies in the fact that such a person should never compromise with money. It is not wise to take advice from a person who may be weak in handling his own money. You also need to be careful of such incompetent people, because if a person is not able to take care of important things, then such people cannot handle their business or work. An intelligent person pays more attention to his important problems and not to useless things. Another person who always repeats his words and swears again and again. That person is a liar, hence such persons should never be trusted. On the other hand, if you want someone to treat you well, then you will always get the results as per your desire, which is wrong. You should always remember one thing, that people want what they can never get. Therefore, if you want that to complete a task, you have to do it again and again, and you can achieve that which cannot fire on its own. For this you will have to pay attention to two rules. The first rule is to give the person you want to control what he wants or what he wants to achieve. The second rule is that until the person comes under your control, you must observe him carefully. See how it hurts when you can't give him what he wants. Whenever you feel like he is taking you for granted, take him back. This will make the person feel a void, which will make them more willing to listen to you again. The third rule is, when a person behaves as if he knows everything, you are definitely talking to someone who lacks intelligence. The truth is that the person who believes he knows everything, he is ultimately the wisest and emerges victorious. If you want to control the people and situations around you, the best way is to be polite and humble. This makes it clear that you do not want to have any dispute with outsiders, and also keep your body language polite. When people find out how much you know, your successes and failures can be used against you. You may be insulted on your failure, and people may hate you on your success. And when you display all your knowledge in front of people, the way to convince them remains completely incomplete. People may accuse you of using them, and they will not give you a chance to join their scheme. People generally don't suspect us because we are innocent, ignorant, and humble. When a person is skilled in hiding his feelings and emotions, he can easily control others. When people realize that you are polite and not prone to quarreling, they become more willing to help you. Maybe they get a chance to give you information about you, which may enable you to control them. And they will provide you with all this information because they trust that you will not hesitate to fight them. A person who believes that he has the potential to improve, his chances of success increase. Humility also comes to a person because he understands that he still has a lot to learn, whereas a person who believes that he has all the information is easily fooled. Along with being a homemaker, you also need to be mindful of where your money is going. Before spending your hard-earned money, make sure you are getting what you want in return. This also proves that if you pay money to get the goods, there is a possibility of being cheated. Sometimes it can also happen that if someone has already taken your money, he will not keep his promise. So to be safe, be careful before paying money and get what you want. The fourth rule: the best way to convince people is whose mind you can change and whose mind you can't. It is true that you cannot manipulate someone's mind as per your wish unless he likes you. Therefore, try to persuade people who like you and respect you to your way. But for the right things, keep in mind that if you try to manipulate the mind of someone who doesn't like you, your time and patience may be wasted. Moreover, whenever you try to change such a person, he will argue with you. No matter what you do, you will never be able to change such a person's mind. You should stop trying before your argument even starts. Remember, only people who like you and respect you can change you. So, if you want to change someone, first make good relations with him and make friendship. Saying this, the Mahatma paused for some time and then continued, "Now I will tell you some tricks by which clever and deceitful people fool others and misuse them. The first way when a clever person wants to complete his work successfully is by keeping his intentions completely hidden. He lies, hides important things, and only says what he wants. Another way a person who is clever will try to draw attention to himself is to mislead others. Through this, he can play an important role in a group, confuse others, or join you for his own benefit. The third way in which a person misleads people is by playing with their emotions. He expresses different emotions in different contexts according to his interest, but this is just for show. Sometimes he can be very angry, sometimes he can be very polite. He changes according to time, sometimes he is very happy and sometimes he is very sad. Whenever his work is done, he starts treating her in the same way. The fourth way in which the deceitful person tries to get your sympathy is that he considers you the lowest no matter how big your problem is. He always feels that his problem is bigger than yours and his troubles are more than yours. Therefore, you should take pity on him and help him. The fifth way in which a manipulative person seeks to control you is that he will manipulate you into thinking that he is the most important person in your life. It will constantly make you believe that you are incomplete without him, but in reality it is not so. He gives you the false impression of being able to live without him. Thus, the more you depend on them, the more they exert control over you and get their work done. Sixth way. A clever person always tries that he always gets the credit for any big work. He should be praised no matter what anyone does, but the applause is only for him, so he wants to attract as many people's attention as possible. In order to attract more and more people, smart people often delegate the most difficult tasks to others and keep the easy tasks to themselves. But everyone tries to take credit for the work themselves. Seventh way. A scammer will pretend to be your best friend. He will show that you cannot have a better friend than him. This way he will try to know all your secrets, and at the wrong time he will use them against you. So think 10 times before telling your secrets, because the most dangerous thing in the world is a deceitful friend. So learn to recognize who is a friend and who is not. Eighth method. Give incomplete information. A deceitful person will only give you as much information as he wants to know from you. The reason? It's that he wants you to know only as much as he wants, and he will never share complete things with you. He will hide the most important information so that when the time comes he can use it and take all the credit or get his work done. Ninth method. A clever person will never stick to his word. When the time comes, he will go back on his word. This reason could be anything. Either he wants you not to do it, or he is doing it intentionally, depending on his wishes. 10th way. They pretend like they don't know anything. They are the most innocent. Although they know everything about that incident at that time, but still they would like to hear everything from your mouth. Because if tomorrow something comes out of his mouth which should not have been said, he can take your name. That he told me, or they remain innocent so that they can escape their responsibilities. Avoid overloading them with more work than they could handle. They do this deliberately so that no one pays attention to them, and they can avoid great things. So these were the methods you can use to convince people and identify the clever and the deceitful. By following these methods, you can avoid all those people. Mahesh Seth got answers to all the questions. He thanked the saint for giving him valuable information and returned to his home. After this, Mahesh Seth worked very hard and followed the rules mentioned in this story. After this, he again became a good businessman. I hope you have learned a lot from this story. If you liked the video, then like the video and subscribe the channel. See you in the next video. Thank you.